Hey everybody, and I realized I forgot to put my makeup on to cover these blemishes, so I apologize for the bad look. Uh, and I see Dirk's backstage. I'm gonna add him in here in a little bit. Um, it doesn't look like we have anybody in here. Maybe Wes was right because Wes told me, he said if you're gonna have a watch along, he said like have it at 10 o'clock at night. And I'm like, Wes, that's too late. Like I'm afraid I'll be half asleep, you know, 30 minutes into the movie if I do that. Now it says we have one, but I don't know. Maybe we'll have a few in here. I couldn't get anybody to come live on the stream with me last night. Um Everybody was either had a rough day or they were shy and didn't want to come on, and I'm like, you don't have to come on video. You can come on audio only. I don't have a problem with that. Now, Darren, I gave him a pass because Darren usually will come on live. He doesn't have a problem, but he said it had been a rough day. So I give him a pass on that. So um, we're going to be watching Thou Shalt Not Kill Except, which I get the impression. I'll let Dirk say, what he knows about this movie or doesn't know about this movie when I get him on here. But I was under the impression that Dirk had maybe never seen nor heard of this movie before. And so when I showed him the trailer, he was like, that looks awesome. So and he mentioned that it would be a good idea for a watch along. I was like, well, why not? Why don't I do a watch along for this one? Um, it is directed by Josh Becker, who is one of Sam Raimi's childhood friends. Um, Several other people helped Josh make this movie. Sam's in it as a deranged cult leader. Ted's in it as one of the cult members. He plays Chain Man. You'll get to see him a few times in this movie, and you might see and hear some other people that either look or sound very familiar. I think maybe Bruce Campbell's voice might be used. You might hear him on some radios or something like that. Um, there was actually a short film before this was made called Strikers War. Um, and it was kind of like, how Sam Raimi did Within the Woods, which was a super, super, I guess, almost zero budget um, precursor to the Evil Dead. It was kind of used to raise money to make the Evil Dead. So Strikers War was kind of in a similar vein to Within the Woods. Only Bruce Campbell was playing Stryker in the movie. I will say too that for those of you that are sensitive to seeing, I mean, you're not going to see an animal death, even a faked animal death, and it's obvious that this is not the same. It's not the dog that you're seeing. It's way too large. But it is supposed to be insinuated that a dog gets killed. So I just want to give you a warning for those of you that are animal lovers like me, and might be sensitive to that part of the movie. Um, I also want to remind everybody that I'll probably have some other stuff going on this coming week, but Thursday I am continuing my Dinner with De Palma series, and we're going to be covering Obsession and Carrie. And as I said last night, if you want to participate in the dinner portion of it, hey, John Smith, I'm not going to have an elaborate gourmet dinner like 3-course meal or anything like that. I'm just going to try to come up with some kind of snack like finger foods to go along with one or both of the movies that I'm talking about. So since Carrie is one of the movies I'm talking about, the dinner portion will be, You can pick yourself up a single serving of birthday cake from the grocery store, and get you some Hawaiian punch, and you're good to go. I'm gonna try to get the juicy red punch, because that looks similar to the punch that they actually had on the movie. I don't know what that was, but I mean, it was red. So, um, just want to remind everybody about that. That will be at 8 p.m. Eastern time on Thursday. And of course, I'll be doing the last Cheese Extreme Wednesday on Wednesday, and that'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then like I said, I'll probably have some things sprinkled in there, with the exception of Friday, and I've usually been taking Friday off. As how's everybody like my new pink microphone cover? I just got my colored microphone covers in, so I thought I'd, on holidays, if it's St. Patrick's Day or around St. Patrick's Day and I do a stream, I'll put the green one on and, whatnot. We'll just do that. So I'm going to go ahead and add Dirk here. Hey,
Hey,
Dirk.
hey now.
Dirk, you're looking more like my dad because you've got your hunting clothes on now.
Right. No, I just come out of the damn woods.
I imagine my dad did too, unless he had something else to do. Because I talked to my mom yesterday, and she said, "Yeah, your dad's out in the woods. He's deer hunting." I said,
Right.
"Well, I hope he gets one." And Mom's like, I don't want him to get one because she knows if he brings home a deer, guess what? She's going to have to help with it.
Oh yeah.
They're going to have to skin it and get it all cut up
Quarter
and,
it up. Yeah.
yeah, do all
Let it,
that stuff.
you got to drain it for like 3 days. Drain the blood.
Uh,
Keep changing the water out and all that.
Yeah, that was something that my dad told me, when I lived at home, with him and mom, that was how you got the wild taste
Yeah.
out of the meat, was getting that blood out of there. And so,
Yeah.
because I would ask him, I said, "Dad, why are you soaking this meat?" Like before mom would fry it or something, mom fried tenderloin a lot of times, and oh my gosh, that stuff was good.
It's awesome. Yeah.
But people always complained, that weren't familiar with deer meat or how to cook it, how to
How
prepare
gamey
it.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, and they would say, "It's got that wild taste," and Dad was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." He's like,
Right.
"Did you get the blood out of it? Did you soak it like you're supposed to?"
Right.
No, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. So,
Oh yeah.
uh
Yeah. And you can go even further with it because I've soaked it in milk too.
I don't think Dad's ever did milk. I'll have to ask him about that.
But yeah, it's and I don't just shoot anything. If that was the case, I could have had about 4 of them by now. But
Yeah.
I'm just looking for mature bucks, like 5, 6 year old bucks.
Yeah. I
But
mean, that one that you sent me the picture of earlier, that was a nice one.
yeah, that's an 8 point. I mean,
Yeah.
he's probably at least 3 years old, 3, 4 years old. But
Yeah, that would have been a nice one to take out of the woods.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Steve was like, because Steve's never hunted in his life. I
Oh
don't even know if Steve's ever fished before. He may have, but Steve's not a hunter, but because I grew up in a household where my dad hunted just about everything. You know how there was Mutilator was the movie where he said his dad had hunted everything except man. And
right.
I think that about my dad because like dad is squirrel hunted. He used to coon hunt when I was a kid when the hides for coons were
Yeah,
really brought good money. I mean, nowadays I don't think they
the
bring any
pelts.
money, but
Yeah,
back then they did. So
I
I
started
think
out. I started hunting like when I was like 8. And with my uncle,
oh,
he
yeah, I
took me
don't
out
know
and
how old dad was.
we started me out squirrel hunting and stuff like that.
Yeah, dad squirrel hunted, rabbit hunted.
Dove hunting.
Um, yeah, I hated the thought. I hate
A
the
lot of people
thought
think
of
that, but yeah,
it, but it doesn't keep me from eating it.
right. Yeah,
You ever went frog gigging? My dad used to go frog gigging.
I haven't, but I've ate plenty of frog legs.
I
I,
used to love frog legs, and
mm,
now it's like, over time, I think I've lost my
right.
taste for that, but I'll still eat deer meat. Like back when Steve and I first started dating, and that first Valentine's Day after we'd been dating a little bit, he came over to mom and dad's house. And like, I don't think mom and dad would have done this if I'd been a young woman getting involved in a relationship with somebody, but
Mm.
because I was in my 30s, and, me and Steve been dating a while, and mom just said, "Well, Dana, why don't me and your dad go somewhere and stay somewhere else, and you and Steve can have the house for the night." How many parents do that?
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
their daughter can have a little rendezvous with her
Right.
boyfriend, but, they did, and, so it was so funny because I was in the kitchen and I was just hungry for something, and dad had just had some deer meat processed, and he had it done into, like, deer sticks. We always call them deer sticks.
Like jerky. And
Well,
and
he
then
did jerky, but these were more like beef sticks.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Uh,
And then you can do the sausages and all that.
yeah, he did the summer sausage too, but I didn't like the summer sausage as well as just like the beef sticks.
Hmm.
So anyway, I just went in the refrigerator, got one out of the package, and had one hanging out of my mouth. I was getting something else, and I just had it hanging out of my mouth. Steve comes around the corner. He says, "Oh my God, what is that?" I said, "It's a deer stick." I said, "You want a bite of it?" "Oh no, I don't." You know, and I've tricked him one time. I got some ground deer meat from mom and dad, and I
mixed with
didn't tell him.
mixed with hamburger meat or
Um, I
just
think it may have been just to extend it a little bit,
right.
but, Steve would claim, "I'm never gonna eat deer meat. I'm never gonna eat deer meat." So I didn't tell him. I made some burgers, but they were almost all deer meat,
Oh yeah.
and I
Venison
fried
burgers.
them. I fried them up, put it on a bun for him. He dressed it like he wanted it and stuff. And I waited till he took a few bites, and I said, "How's them burgers, Steve?" "Oh, they're pretty good." I said, "You know you're eating deer meat, right?" He said, "I knew they tasted different." I
Yeah.
said, "Oh, well,
Tasted good.
whatever."
Tasted better.
Exactly.
I was trying to find a link to this movie.
Well, I've got a link up there to it. It's
Do
that
you?
one that says ok.ru.
Let me see.
Um, I can put it on there again if you
Can you
don't
put
see
it?
it.
Can you put it in the chat? I don't see it
Yeah.
on. Okay.
Yeah, let me repost it.
I was trying to. I got a TV here, so I was going to watch it on the TV, but I can't find it through any of like YouTube or nothing like that.
Yeah, this one's a little bit harder to
It's pretty
find.
obscure because I'd never heard of it, and I seen that trailer. I was like, "Oh hell yeah!"
So, okay, Dirk, I put it starts with the HTTPS, but it's got ok.ru.
Okay, let's see. I can see if I can do this. I'm kind of not the best with computers. Let's see.
Well, I think you do pretty good because I mean I see you doing those streams with the other guys and stuff
Just
like that.
StreamYard, you know, it
It does it all for you.
right.
But you gotta have a little technical know-how too. I
Right,
wouldn't set my mom in front of this and expect her to be able to do it.
right. I'm trying to see which one I'm on. Let's see. Minimize that. Yeah, I'll be able. I can do it. I
Okay.
I get it.
And you can have your sound going if you want. I usually just mute my sound because I've seen these movies half a million times, and I could probably recite the dialogue by heart on a lot of these that I do watch-alongs for. So
Oh well. Let's see. I did it wrong. Let's see. I don't need to. I'm having a time. Hold on a second. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. We got time. So, John, while Dirk's doing that, were you able to get the video to come up from the link, or are you planning on watching along? I would assume anybody that's in here is probably going to watch along.
I don't know why the link's not working. Maybe.
I wonder if you did. You're just clicking on it, right? I'm wondering if you copied and pasted it into your.
Yeah, I just tried that. I'm gonna try this. I think I got it now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. Cool.
Because this one was a little bit of a different site than like Tubi and YouTube and stuff like that. So.
Right.
And I've got mine queued up to an Action Pictures production, and it's like 21 seconds in.
Okay. I got the sound. Can you hear that? Or no?
Nope, I can't hear it.
Okay, because I got that noise cancellation or whatever. Okay, I got it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I got it linked up to Action Pictures production.
Okay. So you said that you hadn't heard of this movie before.
No, I never heard of it. I was like, what in the hell is this?
like, I guess I discovered it because back when I was really, really getting into Sam Raimi stuff and all that, I started trying to find everything that he had a connection to, not just things that he directed, but like in this case, he's acting in it. But I discovered, that Josh Becker, who directed this one, Scott Spiegel, who also directed a bunch of stuff. I think, did Scott Spiegel do Hostel 3? I want to say he did Hostel 3.
I don't know. I watched the first 2 Hostels, and yeah, I didn't get to the third one.
But have you seen Intruder?
Yeah.
The one with Danny Hicks in it? And
It's been a long time, but
yeah, now Scott Spiegel, I think, directed that one. And so I discovered that one, and this one that we're going to watch tonight about the same time. And I was like, I was watching, I was like, this is some crazy shit, but but it's fun though. It might be crazy, but it's fun. And you guys will all see that Raimi is going to play a very Manson-esque, like,
oh yeah,
even more over the top than Manson probably was himself. But
right.
Manson was pretty crazy. But
from seeing that trailer, I was like, man, I gotta buy this shit.
now I bought it back when I think it was what, Synapse put that out.
Put it out.
I believe so.
I
Yeah.
still hadn't got around to buying it, but I'm gonna buy it. I've just been so damn busy. It's been crazy.
Yeah, well, we were all worried about you because it was like,
no, I got a new builder, and it's very demanding. I gotta pump out. It's a brand new house. Well, I'm making it a brand new house. It's a complete remodel, full interior.
Gotcha.
And this is a brand new builder. So this is kind of what I've been looking for a while.
Right.
And he's very demanding. Plus, I'm doing other jobs that I got, and it's like, damn it.
So, how do you have time to hunt, man?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just gotta make it. Gotta make time. Plus, especially right now, because they're in the rut.
Yeah, yeah. That's probably why my dad's out in the woods so much. Mom was like, "Yeah, your dad's out there in the woods," and he this tells you how much of a hunter my dad is, and he always has been. Mom said a night or two ago he was throwing up and stomach was messed up. I guess he had stomach virus. That's the only thing I can think of. That that he got, which it seems like my poor family gets that around Thanksgiving. Uh-oh.
Right.
Steve's coming through the room, and every time Steve goes to bed and then gets back up for anything, Sammy, the younger basset hound, just goes
He
crazy.
goes off.
Like like he's forgotten who Steve is.
Right.
Um, so, um, but anyway, Mom said, "Yeah, but now your dad's out in the woods after at first he had a cold, like flu-like thing, then he was throwing up, and he still went out in the woods." She said, "It ain't gonna keep him from going out in the woods. He ain't gonna miss hunting season."
Yeah, there's nothing like it. I mean, really, and it's not all about the kill. It's just
Right.
being out there. Really.
I think my dad loves that too, and when I was a kid, I didn't ever want to do the hunting part of it. I would go fishing with dad.
Right.
I never was interested in hunting, but I liked to go with him when he was setting up his deer stands and when he was checking to see if there was evidence that the deer had been
Yeah.
around.
Scrapes and.
Yeah, he would show me.
Hmm.
He'd say, "Look, Dana, this is where they've scraped." He would even check the poop. He was like,
Right. Yeah.
he literally, I don't know if you do this, Dirk, but when I was a kid, Dad would pick up the poop and like roll it around. I guess to see how fresh it was. I don't know, but it was like
Yeah.
he would
I've
just
seen my
do it.
uncles do it. I've never done that,
It's
but
like, what in the world,
that's just an old school thing, I think.
I guess.
but
Yeah,
but
because
as far as checking scrapes and stuff, and yeah, I mean, just tracking, trying to see what's going on.
yeah, and
But
then
there's
when he,
ethics to it too, like you
mhm,
don't, because we're overrun with doe, but
uh,
I still won't shoot a doe if I see she's got babies with her. You know what I'm saying? There's
no,
still,
my dad would never do anything like that. And here's how conscientious my dad is. Back when he was coon hunting,
yeah,
he shot, well, he thought he shot a mama coon,
hmm,
and then he felt awful because he saw these 2 babies, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't just leave these babies here." So even though that's not entirely legal to do, he brought home those 2 baby coons in a burlap sack,
right,
and
yeah, and
we kept them as pets for a while until they got old enough that Dad said, "We need to let them loose
yeah,
now
because
so they can get
damn
meat."
coon, they're pretty
Well,
rough.
they'll get mean, he
Yeah,
said, and also he said he wanted them to learn how to fend for themselves.
right,
So he let them loose and they went in the woods, and we thought, well, they're going to go off and do their thing. But I think one of them never did come back. So I don't know if he just went way, way away from the house or something got him, or
yeah,
somebody shot him, or what happened. But the other one kept coming back.
hmm.
And my
Like a cat.
mom and dad used to keep dog food in this old dryer outside.
Mhm.
I mean, the dryer didn't work, obviously, but then they would take the dog food out and fill up the dog food buckets and take it around to all the dogs. And so they left the dog food bucket on top of this dryer, and sometimes it would still have dog food in it. We saw that coon coming. He would climb up on top of that dryer, stick his little paw down in
Oh yeah.
there, get him some food, and we would see him eating out there. And he did that for a long, long time. And then
It's
either
funny.
something
You'll
happened to
see the
him.
coons with the deer, and you'll see. I've seen pictures on trail cams where a coon's on a damn hog's back trying to get the
Wow.
corn. Like they work together. It's kind of crazy. But
Mhm. So I mean, yeah,
funny stuff.
I totally you know, uh, get all of that stuff. Steve doesn't get it because he's never been into hunting. He
Yeah,
didn't have a dad that hunted. I
I
guess
didn't
he
either, but my uncles, they were all pretty much like my dad. So
yeah, I don't think Steve's uncles
yeah,
hunted either. Maybe they did, but Steve's like, I'm not
right.
into that. But like I said, I went fishing a lot, and I even woke my dad up. like
we
one
didn't have the
morning.
internet growing up, so
Exactly.
you know, and I was bored as hell. I didn't want to watch what the hell my grandparents were watching. You know,
Oh God,
so,
no, because let's see, my mom's parents would have been watching either soap operas, races, The Price is Right,
yeah, my
or the
grandfather,
news,
he was
maybe.
constantly watching baseball. You know, and I just never was into baseball. So. My
And
grandma had to watch whatever he was watching, so that's just how it was.
yeah, but the good thing about my granny and granddaddy was that they watched a lot of the same things. Like uh, granddaddy would watch the stories, as they called them, the soap operas with granny, and she liked races. Oh, and they liked Kentucky basketball. They would watch that and stuff. But
Yeah, my grandfather was pretty, dominant type of guy. Just no nonsense type of stuff. Like very hard man, but
and then my dad's dad, he wasn't a hunter. He never was a hunter. He was a farmer, and he
yeah,
farmed all his life on up until he died.
that's how my
And
grandfather was. I mean, and then like my mother and all her brothers and sisters, there was 12 of them. They were raised on a farm. You know,
mhm.
and
That's what my dad was. He was raised on a farm, and he has stories like he said one time. Papa loved all his boys. They how many boys were there? 5, 6. Gosh, I can't even remember that because they didn't have any sisters. It was all boys,
oh well,
and so they would have to help on the farm and stuff. But one time when Dad he wasn't real young, but he wasn't real old either. But he was riding on the back of a wagon that Papa was pulling with a tractor or a truck or something. I think it was a tractor. And Dad fell off of it and got all skinned up and stuff. And Papa got real scared and he stopped the tractor and he
nope.
went back there and he asked Dad, he said, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" And Dad said, "Yeah, yeah." He was a little embarrassed. He said, "Yeah, yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right." And then Papa started whipping him. He said, "You damn fool. I told you to hold on and not fall off of there."
Right,
But it was like, Dad got kicked by a cow once when he was little, but he was hitting the cow with a tobacco stick.
right.
I was like, "Well, Dad," he said, "I know I shouldn't have done it," but he was just, taking that tobacco stick and hitting that cow in the butt. And I guess it just took enough hauled off and kicked him.
Yeah.
So,
We
um,
we got like my uncle John. He was a cattleman and had a bunch of cattle,
mhm.
and he had these Catahoula curs. I don't know if you've heard of them. Uh, you ever heard of
I no, I don't think so.
It's in Louisiana. It's pretty much a Louisiana state dog, like we call it Louisiana leopard dog, but
Oh, I
but,
think I've heard of the leopard dogs, though.
but they call them Catahoula curs,
Oh, okay,
and
gotcha.
they'll jump up and bite a cow in the nose and flip it. They'll flip the cow, but they're cattle dogs, and they run the cattle, to get their attention, to make them go where they need to go. Well, this old blue dog that I grew up with, uh, he'd try to do that to the horses, and they kick him. Like, you know what I mean? He'd be down a couple of days, but it's just that's some funny stuff. Right?
And my dad, like God, I got a million funny stories about, like, I guess it wasn't funny at the time, but like
Yeah.
Dad and his brothers wanted to go, and Dad wasn't. He was probably, I don't know, 13, 14 or something, maybe 15 possibly, but he wasn't old enough to drive, but one of his brothers was. And they all wanted to go out in the car, and it was icy on the roads. And Gran told them, said, "You boys don't need to be going out on the road. It's dangerous." And Dad's made some kind of remark like, you're retarded, Mom, or something like that, and said, it'll be all right. Well, guess what? They slid on that icy road, and she
Right.
told them and flipped the car upside down. And my dad was hanging upside down in the car. And I said, Dad, I guess you should have listened to your mom, right? Yeah, I should have listened to her. But, I mean, my dad was a good kid, but I guess all kids go through those
Oh
those
yeah.
spells where they, he skipped school and stuff, and like, uh, I don't know if it was him or mom that got in trouble. One of them got in trouble, uh, but they both skipped school one day, and they were dating at the time, so they just went off and did their own thing. And
Oh, so they've been together a long time then. Like
oh yeah,
high school sweetheart kind of thing.
yep. I think, let's see, was it the June? I think it might have been the summer before their senior year. I mean, mom saw him and liked him and noticed him, but she was so shy. She was a lot like I used to be, wouldn't hardly talk,
Mhm.
and just really shy. But she noticed my dad and he noticed her too, he said. And so I think they finally, one of their friends said, Daryl, will you go out with Lori? And he said, well, yeah. And she said, Lori, will you go out with Daryl? Yeah. Because she wanted to. She was just too scared to do anything about it. And then here's how my dad asked my mom to marry him. He didn't get down on one knee and do all the fancy stuff. He just they were on a date and he looked at her. He said, so when we get married? And she said, I don't know. But they got married June 14th, 1974.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been married that long.
3 years before I was born.
Yeah, let's see, mom was 19 when I was born. I was born in 76.
Right. Yeah, I'm
And
77.
and then my brother was born 6 years after that. So, and mom said, I got my boy and my girl. I'm getting my tubes tied now.
Right.
She
Yeah,
got
she's
what she
smart.
wanted and she was like, I'm done.
She's smart. Like my grandma had 12 kids, So
Of course, back in the old days, there wasn't the thing really anything you could do. You just kept having them
right.
because I don't know when birth control
Yeah.
became a thing. I don't even know. Oh, TJ's in there. He says, "So romantical and crap." LOL. Well, I'll tell you a romantic story about my dad. I promise we're going to get this movie started here in a second,
Yeah.
but I I love this story that my mom tells because she said dad never did like to wear ties. He hated to wear ties. And so when they got married, he wore a tie and he had his nice dress shirt and a jacket on and all of that. And mom had her real pretty dress. And
Mhm.
I remember always in the closet was mom's wedding dress and dad's jacket that he had worn. And mom said, let me show you something. And she said, right after we got married, your dad couldn't stand that tie on anymore. So he took it off and put it in the pocket of this coat. And it was still there. And I mean,
Oh
it's
wow.
still there
Yeah,
now.
he never wore it
So
again.
mom was like, let me show you something. She said, here's your dad's tie that he took off as soon as we got married. And she said, here's the ring box that had my ring in it. And that stuff had stayed there
Right.
since
Yeah,
the
that's
day they
awesome.
got married.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I don't know, I thought that was kind of romantic and stuff to,
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
yeah. Hey, Middle-elect. Let's see. Well, we got 4 in here, Dirk. So,
Right.
um, everybody all ready to get this movie started now that I've sapped things up by talking about my parents and
That's fine.
made everybody else sicky because I got so sappy. But TJ, are you gonna do you want to come on or do you want to just watch or I think John's already told me he's too shy to come on. So uh, John's ready. So
Yeah.
I'll wait a second or so to see if TJ wants to come on or not. And I saw John was saying, John told me last night he's a country boy, so he knows all about hunting too.
Yeah. Yeah.
He said
I
something
agree with
about
him.
see what they're feeding on. I guess that's why they check the poop.
Yeah. I just
See
never
what-
have done that shit. I mean, we got corn and
Mm,
we got white oaks out there. They're eating them white oak acorns
uh,
and we got like water set up. They got it. It's 240 acres that I'm hunting on.
wow.
So
Is that your land or is it somebody
no,
else's?
it's my uncle's. He
Uh,
leases that land. He's been
oh,
leasing that.
okay.
He's been leasing that land for years.
Okay, so TJ says I'm in and out. Hopefully next time, like this flick though. Okay, that's cool. Last night TJ had company over, so he
I
couldn't.
asked several people about it. They didn't know what the hell I was talking about. I was like, okay, well, I'm not the only one. So, but I'm definitely excited about it for sure.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and if we have anybody come in here later in the middle of the movie, we'll help them get. We'll give them a timestamp or something.
Give him a tramp stamp.
Tramp stamp. So I'm going to do the 3, 2, 1 and press play. So 3, 2, 1, press play. And I believe this link is an HD version of this.
Okay. I don't want to make it any bigger because I don't want to. I got, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm keeping mine small because I switch back and forth between the StreamYard
Right.
thing so I
Is
can
that
watch
too
the
loud?
chat. I can't even hear it, Dirk.
Okay,
So
good.
you're
It's
good.
got that's the thing with StreamYard. I like they got that noise canceling
Yeah, that
feature on
works
there.
works real good.
Let me know if it's too loud. I'll turn it down.
I can't hear anything right now.
Okay. Awesome.
What I
Okay.
think is funny is this is supposed to be Vietnam. And it's Michigan
Right.
pretending to be Vietnam.
Does this
But
thing keep popping up for you?
is it wanting you to log in, Dirk?
Yeah.
I think what you can do to keep do you have a Google account, like a Gmail
Okay.
account?
Yeah. I see it. I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say if you log in with that and like you don't even have to put your real name in there. I just had Evil Dead Chick in there.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I should have told you that might happen with
That's
this
all right.
one. Oh, damn. That guy got killed by somehow booby trapped me.
Let's see. Okay. Should be good now.
Yeah, I don't think mine's popping up like that. I guess they just want people to register with these sites. Maybe so they know how many people are visiting them.
What's the timestamp?
Let's see, 2 minutes, 27 seconds.
Okay.
You're also gonna see Tim Quill in here, and Tim Quill was, a friend of Sam Raimi's too. He played remember I guess he was a blacksmith on Army of Darkness, the guy that helped, Ash make the
Okay.
the hand where he crushed the cup and all that. There's Tim Quill's name, and Sam Raimi's.
I'm at 326. Am I too far ahead?
I'm at 3:14.
Okay. Let me pause mine for a second. So we'll try to get it back.
So Bruce Campbell helped with the story too.
Oh
So
wow.
and Scott Spiegel helped Josh Baker with the screenplay. So it's kind of like all in the family. It's and it was produced by Scott Spiegel too. So the guy back there in the middle, like underneath the naked chick, right underneath the yeah, the guy that had the gun in front of his face, that's Tim Quill. I love how they made this. I guess it's supposed to be a barracks, and
Yeah.
it.
Like
I think they did this in somebody's garage in Michigan.
yeah, this shit's gonna be off the rails. I can already tell.
Hmm. I'd like to at some point have like there are a whole bunch of short films that Sam Raimi and Josh Baker and Scott Spiegel and all those guys worked on together from the time they were kids, and I'm talking kids.
Dang.
And they would do like Super 8 type of films, and
Mhm.
I managed to get my hands on 'em. I don't even know if you can buy them now, but I think Scott Spiegel got together with some other guy, and they put them all on DVDs, and I bought all 3 of them, and they, like, came with pictures and all
Oh
kinds of
wow.
things, like, behind the scenes stuff. It's really, really cool little package, but I'd love to have, like, a marathon showing those shorts sometime,
Yeah.
and I may do that.
I met a guy at Texas Frightmare. Have you ever heard of Beelzebub?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I have. And the reason why I've heard of that guy is because back when I was doing reviews for Dead Pit,
Yeah.
Wes and Aaron would send me movies periodically that they got in to review that they didn't really want to review, or they had too many of them and they needed to divvy them out to somebody else.
Yeah.
And so I think Wes sent me some Beelzebub movies, and I was
Beelzebub
like,
shit.
holy crap. It was I'll be honest, I watched most of those movies on fast forward because it was like I can't, you know.
I haven't even looked. I still haven't watched
Oh,
what he
geez.
gave me. He signed one, and the one he gave me is he was selling them to other people, but I sat there and I guess I bullshit with him for a minute, you know. So he
Uh,
just gave me a couple of them and he signed one, but it was extreme metal retardation. Is what
I don't think I've seen that one. The one I remember seeing that he had something to do with, this guy had this woman, like, and she may have been naked, but he had her trapped in his basement and he had her, like, her hands hung up, like she was just kind of hanging there. And he was basically torturing her. And
oh
after a
hell
while, I was like, no, this
yeah.
ain't my cup of tea.
And then he gave me this other one. And he's like, "This is my masterpiece," and he was drunk off his ass too,
I
you know.
think he was. I
And
think he was drunk when he was making these movies.
he said, "This is my masterpiece," and it's called Dick NATO. I still haven't watched it, so I don't know what the hell it is.
It's like,
But the look on this
Wes
woman's face on the like, what the hell?
I told Steve, I said, Wes must have sent me all the shit he didn't wanna watch, but they were getting so
Right,
much stuff at that time, and he said people expect us to review it. And so he said, if I send you some stuff, but he didn't tell me what kind of crap he was gonna send me. He said, if I send you some stuff, will you review it? He said, do you know about HTML and all that? I'm like, yeah, I know about HTML and I know how that works. And
right.
so I did that for a while for them. And Aaron sent me stuff occasionally, but it was mostly Wes that sent me stuff to do. But
Yeah, when I'm at work, I listen to all the Patreon stuff. I listen to your stuff, you know. Um, like the you know stuff that I missed. I catch up, and then but like on the Patreon, I hear you and Steve, the Two Against podcast. They
Mm-hmm.
they've been putting a bunch of those on lately, and so I've been checking those out.
I don't know why Sammy's barking back there. If he starts doing that a bunch, I'll probably have to get after him because I don't start my new job until after Thanksgiving. But Steve's got to get some sleep.
Right.
Um, he's got to go to work early in the morning. I did
Yeah.
go. I had Steve go and pick up my shit from my desk at my
What time does he
ex
start work?
job. Let's see. I think normally he has to start at work at like 7,
Okay.
and he's got pretty good hours. I mean, he gets off at like 3:30, and he gets home about almost 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
But with
Yeah. I
me
gotta be.
work, go ahead, Dirk. Sorry.
Oh, you're all right. I gotta start. I can start 7 or 8 either way, but I mean, it really don't matter as long as I put in, you know, a good day trying to get more done on this damn house.
Right. I I think it's going to be a lot easier for both me and Steve with me working remotely. Nobody's going to have to come and get me. I'm not going to have to worry about
Yeah.
transportation.
Saving gas. Yeah.
Yeah, saving
Hell
gas,
yeah.
but I'm not going to have to worry about getting out in the weather.
Right.
I
That's
just
awesome.
think it's going to be better all the way around. Now, Steve, he's like, I said, "What's gonna make this job real for you, Steve? They've already told me I've got the job. They've told me when I start. They told me how much I'd be making. They've sent me some equipment already, but the thing was, I had to get in touch with the IT manager because they must have got the orders mixed up because I only asked for one monitor. They sent me two monitors. The UPS guy came yesterday and dropped off a whole shitload of stuff. And then I got two other boxes that have the same stuff in them. They have a headset and wireless keyboard and mouse and a docking station, but no laptop to use with the docking station or anything. So I
Right.
told the IT manager, I sent him an email. He said, "Oh, he said, I might have got those orders mixed up." He said, "Can you hold off till Monday?" I said, "Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that I don't think I got all my stuff and I might have gotten somebody else's stuff as well." He said, "Well, there are two other people starting around the same time you are." So
Cool.
that's easy to do.
This is like a war movie.
Yep.
Kind
Well, yeah, this beginning part with the stuff that's supposed to be in Vietnam, I
Yep.
saw TJ said it was discount Nam.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks good though, man. So
Yeah,
far.
John says the print looks good. Yeah, this is now, it's like I said last night, if you blow these up on a big screen TV, they may not look as good, but like looking
Yeah.
at it on my computer monitor, it's good.
I finally got around to watching the 4K of Hills Have Eyes, and that looked like shit. I was like, what the hell? You know? But I
Dirk,
mean,
I'm sorry, you go ahead and entertain people, but I gotta step away for just a second.
okay. Okay. John says, I just maximized it and it did not do it anymore. Oh, you talking about the pop up thing? Oh, yeah. Just to let y'all know, I'm at 12:50 is the timestamp I'm at. And these dudes just they're shooting a bunch of Vietnamese people, I guess. Now they're shooting their asses. Damn, getting ambushed everywhere. Dude act like you never seen blood or something. Smart man.
You guys stay in here with me, buddy.
Well, y'all looking forward to this week coming up?
Okay, I'm back now. Sorry for yelling at my dogs, but
I didn't even hear nothing.
Steve was upset because Brandon, he's the old basset hound. Even with his pill to help him sleep, sometimes he just wants to pace back and forth, doesn't want to lay down.
Right.
So I said, Steve, just let me take him back here and I'll shut the gate going from the kitchen to the living room. I said, and he won't be in there. Steve was all mad because he said, it's 8:30 and I'm usually asleep by now.
Shit.
So, he gets a little cranky when he's got to work. I knew something was up when he was standing right there and wanting me to get over there.
I was tripping out on this damn war shit going on. This guy's like the cliche general or whatever, sergeant with the cigar out his teeth and shit.
Yeah, and that guy made a big mistake. Got him in trouble.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab something to drink right quick.
So now we're like, oh, here's the introduction to Sam Raimi's Manson-like character. This is great. So I'm assuming that like Josh Becker and all those guys got a bunch of their friends together to do this, and they just blew a hole in that guy. And it's supposed to be like a Manson-like cult. John, you say, did Forrest Gump copy the guy carrying the other's shoulder? I don't know. Could be. Could be. Maybe one of the guys that made Forrest Gump watch this once upon a time. I mean, I know that I know we're supposed to be scared of Sam Raimi's character here, but like I can't help it. I laugh every time I see him. A baby's not scared of him.
All right.
So, Dirk, you did miss the introduction to Sam Raimi, but
I did.
We're gonna see more of him here.
Okay. My bad.
But now
I'm addicted to these damn things here. These green teas.
I'm addicted to these Mountain Dews. I'll tell you what, I'm probably gonna have to get another one of those here in a little bit. But now we fast forwarded and the war's over. Of course, Stryker is maybe I'm guessing the war.
Every time you say Stryker, I'm thinking of that damn airplane,
Yeah.
Stryker.
So he's going to the Happy Valley kennel to get his dog that while he was in the war. I guess he's checking for dog shit on the bottom of his shoe there. He just lifted up his shoe and looked, and I was like, well,
making sure, huh?
So he's going to get his dog, and I'm not giving anything away, really. This dog that he gets is the one that's supposed to end up dead later on at the hands of the cult. Just warning you. And this is a cute little dog too. I'm sure it was probably one of the guys' dogs that made this movie or something. That's a big old bag of dog chow back there.
Mm-hmm. I used to have a bunch of pit bulls. I used to raise pit bulls,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I got like my last. I had my last one. He lived to be 14, and I said, well, that was like my boy, and
Yeah.
I just never got no more dogs.
And some people do that. It's like some people just, just have a one and it passes away and they're like, I don't want any more,
Yeah, Samson was my boy though, man. That was like my son. He really was.
Ain't this dog cute? I love this dog. I mean, that dog's long gone now anyway, but
Yeah.
this movie came out in 85, so. I'm guessing that dog had to be in the kennel for a long time. If it was while he was in Vietnam.
No shit. He was there several years, I guess.
Mm. He was probably a puppy when he brought him there, and now he's grown. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I was like, oh, okay. They picked him up and took him close to his home, I guess.
And he's like, all right, let me get the hell out of there. Away from these people.
They're arguing. I don't.
I can't be bothered. Where are they at? This is like you said, Michigan, or
I
is
think
this?
I think all this was filmed in Michigan.
Yeah, because the trees and shit look like they was just where they was just at.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's one thing that I think is so funny because you're supposed to, I know you're supposed to suspend disbelief for a little bit, but
Right,
geez, it's obvious that was not Vietnam.
right. Well, like unless you're got an endless budget, or something like Kubrick, like Full
Right.
Metal Jacket. He,
Oh, yeah.
that was done in London. You know,
Hmm.
all the Vietnam scenes. So he made it look like Vietnam. It's insane. Brought palm trees and shit in there, all kind of shit.
And he's got to take a pee by the side of the road. Back when people could still do that.
Yep.
Now the sheriff came up. That dog almost looks like it's part beagle hound.
I think I froze for a second. I'm back now. Does it every now and then?
Yeah, I mean, I think it even does it with me, but I notice almost everybody freezes at some point or another. Yeah, John's talking about. He said he used to not replace his dogs after they would pass away, but now I do better when I get a new one right away. It helps me not to think too much with the distraction. And I'm like that because Steve thinks well, he gets the impression that I didn't care about the dog that passed away. And I said, no. And I'm not, it's not taking the place of the dog that passed away. It's just helping me heal. Like when Linnea, our little weenie dog, passed away, I wanted to get another one almost immediately. And Steve was like, "Can't you just wait a little bit?" I said, "The longer we wait, the more you're not going to want to get one. So we might as well, go ahead and adopt another one, give another one a home that needs one." And so that's how we ended up getting Darcy.
Another thing with the pit bulls, and it was always had to worry about that door, because
Oh
they're
gosh,
so damn territorial, and and they'll get on another dog quick, and I didn't like paying vet bills and stuff.
I think with Reggie, I think because he's a mix, maybe is why maybe his temperament's just a little bit different. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can get in fights. He has gotten fights with the other boy dogs. We've
Yeah,
had to pull him off of them. But he usually doesn't do that unless he feels threatened by the other dog or it's a food issue. He's very, he wants his food and he doesn't want anybody else getting it, and he will growl and
yeah,
snarl and carry on.
yeah.
Good
They
Lord,
one of
Marty, you've been dragging my thing all over the place. Sorry about that, Dirt.
Oh, it's all right. Females will do it too, though. I mean, the males try to go alpha. I've seen the females do it too. I had 3 females at one time, pit bulls, and that was a damn nightmare too. Had to keep them separated.
Yeah, we got that one dog and adopted her and had to bring her back, and I was heartbroken because we've never brought any dog back. But she attacked my younger basset hound and bit a hole in his side. It took forever to heal him up, and I was
Right,
like, I can't have this. I mean,
right. Yeah,
this is not like the boys having a scuffle.
yeah. No,
Uh, she was the type of dog that would grab hold and shake and do that, and you can kill another dog doing that.
oh yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and Sammy was trying to protect himself, and he was crying and screaming. I thought, oh gosh. And then Reggie was jumping in on it too because I don't know, it was getting him all
Just too
riled
much,
up.
all the commotion, probably. Yeah,
Yeah, and
just like people do. When there's a big old fight going on.
so he was attacking Sammy and she was attacking Sammy, and I was having to pull Reggie off. Brandon, if you don't quit doing that, boy, he'll settle down at some point. But I had to pull Reggie off, who was about 40 pounds, and I had to pull her off, and she was 85 pounds. And
Mm,
Steve wasn't here, and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to pull her off of him, and Sammy's going to be dead. That was going to be because there was blood everywhere. There was blood on the walls in the bedroom.
yeah,
It was on the carpet.
I
I was
had
like,
I had two pit bulls lock up one time, and had another dog on the back of the neck,
uh-huh.
and I couldn't get him off. I even hit him in the head to get him off. He wouldn't let go. So I had to get a damn water hose. I took a water hose and turned it on and put that water hose down his mouth. He let go then.
Yeah, they say sometimes that's the only thing you can do to get them to let loose.
I didn't want to beat him to death because that's what he would have happened. Because how
Right.
dogs are, they just don't let go off of they're just too intense. That's the main reason I was like, well, I can't do this no more.
But Reggie is like, knock on wood, but he is so loving with me and Steve. I don't think we would have to do something really terrible to him, I think.
Well,
To
that's what I'm saying. My dogs never attacked no people.
Mhm.
It was always other dogs.
Just other dogs, right?
Yeah, and I had to pay pet bills and vet bills and all that. Just too much to worry about. I'd always be like, make sure you close the door. Make sure you close the door.
Well, the thing about Reggie is he usually wouldn't come into contact with anybody else's dogs, but if he gets out the front door, he just wants to find somebody to play with him. That's all he wants. And if he sees a person, he bolts right up to him. He'll jump on. Of course, he would knock over an old person or a
Yeah.
kid, a little kid, and he might hurt them doing that. But he just wants to play with you. He
Right.
loves people.
Right.
So they're at the A&W root beer place. And this is his old girlfriend that he had, I guess his ex-girlfriend that he had before he went to war. And there's his old buddies from the war. They're coming to see him. Or I think they decide to go see him. Just kind of, they're just out driving around and let's go see Stryker.
Are they like wearing? Looks like they're wearing Boy Scout uniform.
It doesn't look like military stuff.
Right.
That's probably all Josh Baker could afford or something. Here, you guys put these on.
He probably went to the Salvation Army or something. Grab some stuff. Yeah, I was listening to. I mean, it's true though. You know, I was listening to Guillermo del Toro the other night, and he was talking about he believes you shouldn't give a director endless amount of money.
I agree with that
because they're gonna do more with less because they got to get creative. You know?
Exactly, and I think if you give them too much, they're going to make an awful film.
Yeah, they're going to
because it's going to be excess. I think that's what happens to Rob Zombie a lot of times.
Like all these damn Marvel movies with these $400 million budgets and shit. You know, like that's insane.
Yeah, because I mean, like Sam Raimi, for instance, when he had little or no money, he made some great movies. And I'm not saying all the I like the new Doctor Strange movie he did. I like some of the Spider-Man movies.
I haven't watched it all. The Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched the whole thing, but the CGI shit started pissing me off. I was like, I know that's a big budget movie.
Yeah.
And the CGI looked wonky to me. I don't know.
But too, once they start giving people like Sam Raimi and some of these other directors that start out doing like really low budget stuff and being creative and all that stuff, and then they don't want to go back to that shit.
Yeah.
They just want to keep doing bigger and better things. And I'm like, see, that's why we never got an Evil Dead 4 because they started offering Sam Raimi these superhero movies. He ain't gonna go back and do Evil Dead 4, and now it's too late because Bruce Campbell's too old. He's too old to come back and do Ash. And if they tried to do it, it would probably be.
Yeah, that's probably a big reason why they gave the go ahead on the remake. You know, so he didn't have to.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to do it.
I just wish he had just said no.
Right.
I'm sorry. I know you like it, but I just wish he'd said no. Don't do that.
And it's fine. I mean, it's just a different approach. You know, whatever. He probably just was glad to not have to do nothing. You know, that's all I.
Well, opinion. If they had made Evil Dead 4 at this point, or maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I think it would have turned into Phantasm Ravager. Because Phantasm Ravager, I was so depressed watching that movie.
Yeah.
I was so depressed. I was like, "What in the hell have they done to Reggie?" It's
Yeah.
like, what? And he's got dementia and he's in a damn nursing home. This isn't right." And then
Yeah.
poor Angus Scrim was almost dead. He couldn't be in a lot of it.
They milked it for all they could,
And Don Coscarelli to top it all off. Don Coscarelli didn't direct it, so
Right.
um, it was just I got depressed, and so by the end of it, I was just completely depressed.
You said
Um,
Sam Raimi and Ted Raimi's coming to something Comic-Con by you or something?
Now I heard that Sam Raimi's coming to the Lexington Comic Con
Okay.
next March,
Yeah.
but some people like Wes seem to think he's going to cancel again because
I don't
Wes
think
was.
so because he's coming to Texas Frightmare, so that lets me know that they're probably touring. They're probably making their rounds.
Yeah, I'm hoping, and Wes said don't. He messaged me. He said don't pre-order tickets because Sam Raimi will cancel. I said, well, no, I don't know that he'll cancel, but I'm not going to buy tickets right now. I'll wait until
Yeah.
closer to time. And for you guys, here's some nudity, some sex and nudity because they picked up these chicks.
My boy's like he's a third
Well, he's
wheel.
not getting any, but
Yeah.
the other two guys are having a good time.
Yeah, he's the fifth wheel then.
And I think these girls are supposed to be like Charlie's girls, like the Manson girls.
Oh,
They're
okay.
supposed to be decoys, kind of to like lure guys in or something.
Right. That's a good sign, though. I think Ted, because I seen Sam and Ted. They just announced them for Texas Frightmare, so
Mm-hmm.
they're probably gonna make their rounds. And Texas Frightmare is in May, so you said they're
Yeah.
coming to your part around March.
Yeah, in March. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll get Steve to take me. Um, he took me to Lexington for Scarefest, and I got to.
I hate to say it, I'm not going to Texas Frightmare though. This time
Oh, you're
because
not going to do that.
no, they increased the prices and it's just it's it's getting crazy. John Carpenter will be there. Killer Clowns from Outer Space will be there. A bunch
Is
of people from that.
Grant Kramer going to be there? I know
Yeah.
he's in Killer Clowns.
Hmm. And three of the clowns
Oh,
will be there. And the main chick, the lead chick, she was in Weird
oh,
Science.
okay.
Wasn't she in
Yeah.
Weird Science? Yeah.
Seems like it.
I'm horrible with names. I really am. I'll be like, yeah,
Well, I know.
that person from this movie.
Yeah, my mom's like that whenever I'll say, "Oh, so and so from this movie." And Mom said, "I don't know their name, Dana. I might know their character name or something like that, but I don't know their real name." I was like, "Okay." So they're hanging out in the bar now, and this guy here that looks like Santa Claus.
That's what I was about to say. That's Santa Claus right there.
Santa Claus with a cigar or whatever he's got.
Yeah.
But I think that I don't know if that's the blonde girl, Stryker's girlfriend's. I don't know if it's her papaw or something. I can't remember.
Damn. Damn it, boy. I don't like your tone there, buddy.
Or get out here. And those look like bikers.
Yeah, they're supposed to be some badasses.
Probably just some friendly Michigan people, really. Just, you guys are getting a little too loud. You're drinking too much. Get you in trouble.
What the heck? Oh,
Yeah.
Santa Claus gonna get that ass.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's his granddaughter, or maybe it's her uncle. I don't know. I don't think it's her dad.
Oh, y'all done messed up now. Yeah.
All the military guys are here now.
Look at this dude. He's like he's like in a kung fu stance and shit. Hey, hold on just a second. My uncle's calling. I gotta
Oh,
take care
okay.
of it.
John, you said something about, you guess, unfortunately, Reggie does have dementia, is not doing well. He might be now. I did meet him a few years back, and he seemed to be all there. He was a little bit more feeble than he was in his younger years, of course, but he seemed like his mind was all there and everything. And I think he was on, yeah, he was on Joe Bob's. I don't know if you watched The Last Drive-In, John. Um, the show on Shutter that has Joe Bob Briggs, but he had Reggie Bannister on there not long ago, and he was fine. So I don't know. He could have dementia now, but I don't think he did then. I'm pretty sure he didn't. Um, oh, so Sean Clark mentioned that Reggie Bannister had dementia now? Wow. Well, that was quick. Because, I mean, or maybe he knew he had it and it got worse or something, because um, I should listen to Sean Clark's podcast, but I never get around to it. I like Sean Clark and everything. Yeah, sometimes people have medical issues going on too. Brandon, honey, you're gonna have to go lay down. I can do a watch along, buddy. Okay. Yeah, for any of y'all that have ever had, and I'm sure you have, if you've had dogs for any length of time, if you've had old dogs, they get feeble and all that stuff. Brandon, my older Basset, he has trouble maneuvering around, and me and Steve wonder if he might not have dementia, um, because of the way he just wants to pace back and forth at night. I think about, I think his collecting's out of my league too, John. You say you like his podcast, his collecting is out of your league. Um, oh man, I think Dirt's gonna miss where Sam Raimi shows up again. Because I'm pretty sure when she takes, yeah, there he is. I'm just wondering what Sam Raimi put on his teeth to make them look that bad. Maybe he went to the Halloween store and got some of that junk that you used to make it look like your teeth are all nasty. And there's Ted there that just shot the old man in the foot. You see, he's got all those chains on. Sam must be hungry. Is he out of booze? Almost out of booze, maybe. John, you say I have a type of American Bulldog and I have an old timer right now. You say I have a new puppy. I was surprised they were getting along so good. Yeah, I think uh, the dog we had that we had to take back to the shelter, unfortunately, was an American Bulldog, but it wasn't small though. This was a 85-pound dog, so I don't know if she was mixed with something else or not. Yeah, the Raimi wig does look pretty bad, John. Uh, Dang, it's getting pretty cold back here. This back room in our house where me and Steve's computers are at and where we do our streams and stuff gets really cold in the wintertime. We usually have a space heater or something back here, but we haven't gotten it out yet. And his buddies came to visit him. Well, they must have brought more booze or something. So, guys, we're 46 minutes into this movie. Well, a little over 46 minutes. Um, Now 47 minutes, but and you know that clock behind him there may be the Evil Dead clock. I think it is. So this is not a very long movie. Like I said, it's only an hour and 23 minutes long. I'm thinking this site that this movie's on is kind of like a YouTube knockoff, just the way it's set up. Because that people have subscribers, this Nostalgia Horror English. Um, John, you said these bulldogs are 90 pounds, 90 plus pounds when they are adults, but they are a medium sized dog. They're just bulky. So that I'm guessing that's what she was. Maybe, either partially or all American Bulldog. And she was a sweet little girl to us. She just was not getting along with some of my other dogs, and we were just afraid that if we kept her, then something bad was really going to happen. I just wonder why they're not like why they don't want to wear regular clothes. Like even Stryker, he's home from the war and like he's evidently been home from the war for a while, but he's not. There have been like a couple of shots where he had regular clothes on, but maybe you can't go out and shoot guns unless you wear your military clothes. And they're blowing the shit out of that stuff. And then you're gonna break my light, buddy. You alright? Here. Why don't you go in there? Why don't you go in there and go lay down in that bed in there, buddy? You want to lay down? There you go. Breathe in. You're going to have to stop. Now, it's going to have to stop. I'm going to break this. I ain't going to keep taking you, knocking it over all of them. I think I'm just going to leave it off there. Sorry, guys. It's like Steve didn't want him walking back and forth in there because he was keeping him awake. And then I bring him back here, and he still doesn't want to relax, and he keeps knocking stuff over. John, you said that was probably for the best. My dogs have the ability to tear up other dogs. That is why I'm glad my dogs get along. It could be an issue if they don't. Yeah, I totally get that. And even though I was heartbroken to have to send her back, I think she did get adopted out again. And I hope that she got adopted by a good family. That I told them when I brought her back because they asked me what happened, and I told them, and I said I really think that she needs to be with a family that doesn't have any other dogs and doesn't have any kids. Just be on the safe side. So here's more of the cult stuff. So they got the sheriff, got the cop there. And they kidnapped those people that gave Stryker a lift, and one of his buddies is seeing what's going on there, so he's gonna try to sneak back and tell the others. So now they found the poor old man dead. But as you guys can probably see, this is a very low budget type of, homegrown type of movie. But sometimes these are the ones that I like best because I think that they show Josh Becker's talent as a director. It definitely shows that. But like Dirk and I were talking a little bit earlier, like Del Toro said, that these directors will do a lot better if you don't give them a ton of money. Giving them a ton of money is a huge mistake, and I think a lot of people realize that. Sorry, Brandon. Here, buddy. You need to go inside, honey. You're getting cold, and that's making it harder for you to walk. Sweetheart. Brandon. Stay on the roof. Stay on the roof. Please. Okay? There was one of the big scenes there. Sorry, guys, I had to step away again, but um, yeah, I used to use Benadryl quite a bit, John. But we have him on prescription medication now called trazodone, which is a light. Yeah, it's kind of like Benadryl. It's a minor tranquilizer. It's not gonna just really put him out. But are they on acid? Uh, Probably supposedly they are. And so the guy's telling them what he's seen. So now they're gonna get tough, and they're gonna pull out all these guns and stuff. This guy has a lot of guns. That guy's like, oh, let me get this. Oh, he's found his dog, supposedly. But it's obvious that that's not that dog because that's a lot bigger of an animal. But you're supposed to believe that that's. And when you mess with a guy's dog, that means you're going to die. There's Ted again. This is more of Sam hamming it up for the cameras. His teeth don't look as nasty now. It looks like he just put some stuff to block them out now. And I think he just heard the line, "You must taste blood to be a man," and that was one of Sam Raimi's 3 rules of horror filmmaking or something like that. That one chick in the red plaid shirt looks bored back there. So things are gonna get kind of bloody here about to this point when we're about an hour in, and you're gonna see, for those of you familiar with Sam Raimi's movies and Scott Spiegel's movies and stuff like that, you will see a lot of the traditional gags that they've had in their movies. Um, that also showed up in the short films that they did. So I'm really hoping to have that little short film festival at some point where, I don't know if we'll be able to watch all the things that came on those DVDs that I got, but we might have to, because I don't know what kind of copyright are on those things. And I think there's some music that was copyrighted by somebody else, but I guess because they were used in these short films and nobody really paid any attention. Um, so I may have to see what we can find on YouTube that matches up with what's on my DVDs and maybe show those, like things like Attack of the Helping Hand and things like that. That I always thought was a pretty cool shot, how that was kinda like a accidental death, I guess. The way that blood runs inside that mask. I didn't know people put lawn chairs up on the wall, and maybe they do to make more room. No, we know where those are gonna go, right? See, these crazy chicks are showing back up, and the one's bald. The one he wanted to get it on with earlier, and she's bald. Yeah, I think those chicks stole their wallets, so, or at least he got his wallet stolen. I'm thinking the guy in the jean jacket is Scott Spiegel, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm pretty sure it's him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Scott Spiegel. And Sam's running through the wilderness that is Michigan. It must have been fall at this point in time. It looks like fall anyway. I guess he ran out of bullets. Lucky for Tim Quill. I think these are some pretty cool kills in this movie. During the last part of it, anyway. I love how they've got things like war is murder and power to the people and a dove, and flower power, but then they've got some kind of more gruesome uh things like piggies and stuff like that that kind of alludes to Manson. And that shot there where he's running and stuff, that kind of looks like an
Man,
Evil Dead type of shot. I think Dirk's back.
I'm sorry. Sorry
Oh,
about that.
that's okay.
My uncle, man, he, you know, he's up in age, and hard to kind of let him go.
Oh, yeah.
On the phone. He's like, tell me about just just hunting. So he's like, I don't kill so many 8 points. That ain't even a thrill for me anymore. You need to get one of these guys.
Well, you didn't miss all the kills at the end, so.
Well, I missed about 20 something minutes, then I was gone.
Something like that.
Yeah. Love saves.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. There's some things that are kind of peaceful, and then there's other things that say piggies and uh, things like that that kind of alludes to a Manson.
Yeah, I see the comment. Are they on acid? And I would say acid or shrooms, huh? Or
They're
maybe
on
both.
something. They're on some PCP or.
Yeah, they own some.
But I know I was saying this earlier. I know you're supposed to be scared of Sam Raimi's character, but I just laugh every time I see him.
Right. Yeah. That's what I did when I first seen it. I was like, what the hell? This is gonna be great.
It's just he's just so over the top with it.
Right. Shit. Oh, what the hell? Damn it.
With his gun.
Wow. I done missed a bunch, didn't I?
Yeah, you're gonna have to get you a copy of this stuff.
Yeah, I definitely will. Yeah. I'll definitely check this out.
They always do this in movies though, like and especially like war like stuff, they will put like weeds and stuff over and I guess there's a logic to that, but I would be afraid I'd get an infection.
Yeah, I guess just to stop the bleeding.
Now
Ted,
there's Ted again as Chain Man.
that's it. Oh, that's Ted.
Yeah.
The hell.
He's almost as over the top as Sam is in this movie.
Yeah, they were having too much fun.
Yeah, I think so. It's like you just set the boys loose and just let them do whatever.
The hell.
Oh,
All right.
yeah, I remember this. Ted dies great too. I was watching Intruder last night, just rewatching it, and his death scene in Intruder is cool.
He's at the beginning of Candyman, ain't he?
Yep, he's the bad boy.
Have you ever seen that skin? What is it?
Skinner, yeah, I've
Skinner.
seen that. That's one crazy ass movie. I mean, I like it,
Mm-hmm.
but and it shows you what range I think that Ted Raimi has because he can play a really good guy, but he can also play a really sadistic guy too, and I think he did that well in Skinner because he was trying to act kind of sweet to Ricky Lake's character,
Yeah.
and but he was he was killing people and skinning them, and there's a scene where he runs around in a with a black guy, a big black guy's skin on,
Oh wow. I
and
had never seen it. I debated on buying it or not, but
yeah, I mean, you would probably like it, Dirk. I don't think Steve much cares for it, but Steve doesn't much care for a lot of things anymore. He's, I don't know, I guess a little more picky about what he watches because he says he doesn't want to waste his time. He says he has very little free time. But don't we all not have a lot of
yeah.
free
I
time?
mean, yeah. I've been thinking about that more as I get older.
Hmm.
I mean, time is shit. We only got so much of it.
But he wants to spend all his free time sitting there in front of the TV. So, I mean, I just don't get it. It's not like he wants to do anything. I can't get him to do anything.
Yeah, time's the most precious thing in the world.
Mhm.
I say it all the time. I tell people all the time. I mean, it ain't money. Money comes and goes.
No, but Steve thinks money's. I mean, I know we gotta have money to live,
Yeah.
but Steve is like obsessed with money, um, and you know, it's Steve's got weird like ideas about, or I think it's weird, and from my viewpoint, but
That's crazy seeing Sam Raimi do this. He said I'm gonna do some nasty things to you.
yeah.
What the
There was a scene that you missed where he said, "You must taste blood to be a man." And I don't know if you've heard of Sam Raimi's rules of horror filmmaking, but he used to tell the guys all these rules whenever they were making, stuff like Evil Dead and stuff. And it was like the innocent must suffer, the guilty must be punished, and you must taste blood to be a man.
hell?
That was his rules.
Oh, they got some squibs though. Shit.
Yeah.
Well, at least they did that. I hate seeing people get shot and there's nothing,
Yeah, it's just like, and it's nothing.
and then they look like Kool-Aid smeared on their shirt or something
Yeah.
later on,
Or it's like
or nothing at all.
the really old westerns where they get shot and there's no blood and they just fall off a horse or something.
Yeah, it was nothing. The shirt wasn't even ripped.
Yeah. He does have a good death scene in this though.
Damn, damn, I missed. Man, I was gone a minute. Uncle kept talking.
You're gonna have to tell him, "Hey, Uncle, you might miss
Like
this great movie."
I said, he's up in age, and he was just telling
Yeah.
me about all kind of stuff going on out there in the damn woods.
And even if you told him you was doing a watch along, he probably wouldn't know what the heck
He
that
wouldn't know what
was.
the hell I'm talking about. You're doing a what?
Yeah.
I'm talking about something very important here.
You need to listen to me now. Not talking about these foolish watch along thingies.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, it took me a minute to get in front of camera. It
Mm-hmm.
took a while. You just got to do it. Oh, it is.
Well, I mean, I've said this before. I used to never want to when I first started doing YouTube videos, not the streaming, but just recording them and uploading them.
Yeah.
I didn't hardly ever want to be on camera, but now I figure it makes it more personable for
Right.
you to be on your streams and stuff because people get some kind of connection. They're like, oh, they can put a name with a face
Hmm.
and all of that. And now I don't even notice that I'm on camera.
Yeah, me either.
I'm not focusing
Yeah, I don't.
on myself.
I can give two shits with what people think. I don't mean that in a bad way.
No,
I
I get
mean,
it.
if they want to be ugly, then fuck them. That's what I say.
I did
I'm
notice
sorry,
that
my bad.
I had forgotten to cover up my blemishes. I did say that at the beginning. I'm sorry for my blemishes. Occasionally I forget to put my makeup on, but I don't like some girls or women put a ton of makeup on before they go on these streams. And I'm like,
Yeah,
who are you prettying up for? I mean, just get on there and just do your thing.
yeah. I just came straight in the house and jumped on here.
Yeah.
you know?
I saw you backstage. I was like, Dirk still got his camo on, but that's
Right.
okay. I don't care. It kind of goes along with this.
Yeah, it does. Even though I missed 30 minutes of the damn movie.
Well, you could always rewatch it from this link, I guess, if you wanted to,
Yeah,
go back and see what you missed.
yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna have to find a copy of it. You found one the other day. I thought you said like 25 or something on eBay.
Yeah, I believe so.
Did you ever find out what the next movie is for Eurocult?
Oh, Blood and Black Lace, I think is what Steve
Oh
told me.
shit! Hell yeah!
I'm glad you said something, Dirk, because I forgot all about telling you. Because I asked Steve the other day, I said, "What was the movie you picked again?" I said, "Because Dirk was asking." He said, "Blood and Black Lace."
Okay, he knows that everything's good. I just been
Yeah, I told him, and
okay.
you know how Steve is. He's like, it's not that he doesn't care if somebody's on there or not. Steve just goes with it. I get all worried about people and stuff. He's like, don't sit there and worry about people. I said, well, yeah, but I ain't seen or heard from Dirk. And like Darren said, he had been trying to get a hold of you, but I think it was because you had your notifications turned
Yeah,
off.
yeah. I turned all my stuff off when I'm out there, and then I
Which
forget.
I don't blame you. You can't be out in the woods getting notifications, scare all the deer away.
Right. Yep. But
I
that
think,
and just crazy busy work. I mean, it's just
yeah.
I just didn't expect all that to happen that quick.
I was worried about old Curly Jaws, but then he commented on a picture that I put on Facebook, so I know he's okay.
Yeah, just life happens. That's all. You know, I
Yeah.
you don't never really got to worry about me. It take a hell of a lot for me to get offended about anything.
Well, I mean, at first I was like, I was trying to go back in my mind and think, did I say something really like that could be
No,
construed
no,
as offensive? But when you
no.
weren't, but when nobody else could get a hold of you, I was like, oh well, something else must be going on here. It's not
Yeah,
something I
and I
did.
hardly ever get on Facebook. I mean, I really only use it to communicate with people doing YouTube, and you know,
Hmm.
I really don't hardly use social media at all. I'm just
Well,
not.
it's probably a good thing that you don't because there was a time where I thought I was a little bit too addicted to it. Like when I was living with my parents, um, I was on it every day. I would be like, if I was at work, of course, I wouldn't be on it unless I was on a break or something. I might get on there real fast. But when I came home from work, as soon as I came home from work, that computer would come on. I would get logged into Facebook and I would just leave it up in
Mhm.
case somebody messaged me or something. And mom got really worried about me whenever I started really getting into Dead Pit because every Friday I would download their show. And when I got home from work, that's the first thing I did. I got me something to eat and I downloaded their show and I would listen to it. And and when they were doing like the Saturday nightmares and stuff like that, I would be in there unless something was going kapooey with my internet or something. And mom would be like, "Are you ever going to go to bed?" And we'd still all be in there carrying on in the chat and all that stuff and
Oh yeah.
laughing at some crazy ass thing that those few times when Steve was on there, when Aaron couldn't be on there. And Steve was drinking pretty heavy in those days, and
I
all
was
the
wondering
kids.
because I was listening to them MWOs, and
Holy crap!
he's a he's a he's in rare form, I guess you'd
Yeah,
say.
I remember one time they were doing a Saturday Nightmares and Steve was kind of filling in for Aaron and like this for me and Steve were dating or anything. And like Steve was visibly drinking on there. You could see him drinking. And
Mhm.
then gradually you would notice that Steve was slowly sliding out of frame. And then Wes, I guess, noticed and he said, "Where'd Steve go?" And somebody said, I think he passed out. I guess that's what happened. He drank so much, he just passed out in front of his laptop. I think he was laying on his bed or something and using his laptop, and he just, woo. And then one time, him and Wes were like, Wes was drawing all over the screen and stuff, how they have those little doodle things and stuff. And somebody had a Dusty Rhodes wrestling figure, and they were doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But I got in on all of that. I mean, I was there when Kim Malicious was.
I
Oh,
don't know. I have no idea because you know how I found Dead Pit. I just
I I
uh,
forgot how you said you discovered them, Dirk.
well, I was at work
Mm,
and at work I want to listen to something,
uh-huh.
and I was getting tired of all this the same old just people just covering mainstream shit, all the time.
Right.
And I was on Spotify. That's how I found
Mhm.
Dead Pit. Was on Spotify, and I was like, well, damn, shit. So I became a damn fanboy pretty quick, and then yeah, man, because they covered a lot of other shit, not just Scream or Halloween and
Right.
Friday the 13th and all that bullshit.
So
Shit I've heard done over and over and over.
what year did you start listening to them?
It hadn't been long. It's been like so I've been it's been like over a little over a year now.
Okay, so I discovered them at the end of 2008,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a long time.
and, they had been, I guess their first show actually was probably at the end of 2005, I think.
Right.
2005, 2006. So, and I saw that somebody mentioned listening to Dead Pit on IMDb. They had it in their signature where they had done some kind of review for a movie, and they said, "If I'm not on here, I'm listening to Dead Pit." And I was like, "Wonder what this Dead Pit is."
Right.
So I went to the site, I clicked on that link, and it took me to their site, and I was like, "Ooh, this is pretty cool." And then I discovered they were from Kentucky, and I was like, "Hey, these guys are from my home state."
That was
And then
another thing because they were like southern,
yeah,
and I was like,
exactly.
well, shit, there's not many southern people covering horror. So I was like, oh,
No, because you get looked at like you put your clothes on sideways. My hometown was so small that, like, people just didn't much get into that. I was like an oddball. I was like odd man out.
I was the oddball. Shit, I was the oddball of the oddballs. I'm the black sheep of the family.
I mean, but my
Boy,
parents watched horror movies, so that wasn't anything abnormal in our family.
right,
My mom used to be a huge fan of slasher movies, the early Friday the 13th and all that. Now she wouldn't be caught dead watching them just because she says she's just not interested in them anymore. She would rather watch a thriller or some kind of supernatural haunted house type of
right,
movie, or maybe a vampire movie, but I don't even think she's much into the vampire movies anymore.
right.
Um,
It's yeah, like I guess my mom kind of got me into horror with the Alfred Hitchcock stuff back in the day.
oh yeah.
She'd watch that show, but she's not really into it, like talking about it. But I mean, yeah, I was the oddball for sure, though. Like family functions, family reunions, but I was big into metal too, and so
Well, my cousin Jed, though, I've mentioned before, he was my movie watching buddy for a long time. Like when he got his license, he started he didn't care that I was older than him and his friends. He'd say, "Hey, Dana, me and a bunch of friends are going to go to the movie theater and we're going to see this, that, and other. Do you want to come along with us?"
mhm.
He took me to concerts. He took me to the very first concert I ever went to was an Aerosmith concert, and he had an extra ticket for that. And Cheap Trick opened for Aerosmith, and I was like, "Ooh, I like this."
Cheap
This.
Trick. I remember all that. Yeah, I was big into like Ozzy, Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Iron Maiden was my favorite band back then.
I guess I was just a late bloomer all around with stuff like that, because it wasn't until much later that I started, spreading my wings and going to concerts, and um,
Mhm.
then started going to horror conventions on a regular basis, and um, the friends that I met at those things, and the same people that hung around with the Dead Pit Boys and stuff, and they're still my friends now.
Right,
And it's been, when I think about it, I'm thinking about, geez, Louise, that was a long time ago now. I started going to those conventions on a regular basis in '09,
right.
and, we're in 2022 now. It's like, what in the world? Where did the time go?
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's gotten, I don't know how. I'm pretty sure it's the same way over there, but
mm,
the prices have gotten crazy, crazy.
yeah,
It's it's got to the point where it's like, and then you meet these people, and then I'm so underwhelmed by by the ones that I really want to meet,
yeah,
and it's like, the people that I met them, some of the people that you know it wasn't that big a deal, but they're the ones that seem like
it's
they'll sit there and talk to your head off and won't let you
exactly, yeah, like, I met, oh gosh, Dean Cameron.
go. Okay.
When I met him, like, he was just goofing off, like, if you've ever seen and you probably didn't, but there's a picture of me and Dean Cameron, and he's, like, hamming it up in the pictures with me and stuff, kinda leaning in like this, and he was just a trip. I really loved meeting him. Him and Gary Riley, they were both in summer school together as Chainsaw and Dave. So, I got to meet both of them, and Gary Riley was the sweetest guy too. Like, me and Steve were there together, and he was like, "Is that your husband?" He says, "Y'all look like y'all were just meant to be together." And he was just like, I wouldn't have thought Gary Riley would be going on about all this philosophical
Right.
stuff about people's relationships and stuff, but he was really sweet. And, Michael Tuff from Prom Night, played Jamie Lee Curtis's brother in the movie.
Yeah.
He was really cool to meet. But then, when I met Jamie Lee Curtis, I've said this before, there were a lot of things that happened that night. It was late at night. She'd been signing all freaking day.
Yeah.
And they wanted her to do a Q&A. Right after that, I'm like, hell, they're gonna have her do a Q&A at 11 or 12 o'clock, really?
They're
You're gonna
like,
have
well, they're
somebody
gonna
do
squeeze all they can
it.
squeeze. They knew that was gonna be it.
And I think Sean Clark was up there on the stage with her where she was signing, and I think he might have been the one that kinda leaned over and whispered to her that, "Hey, you got a Q&A right after we get these people done." So it was almost like herding cattle.
Yeah.
And the poor guy in front of me, he dropped all of his posters and they went rolling all over the place. And I think Jamie Lee Curtis, she does kind of have a smart aleck personality. She'll
Yeah.
say she does.
Yeah.
And she said something like, "Hurry it up," or something to the guy. And he
Yeah.
was like, he was like later, he said, "She kind of got on me." So I had to wait for this guy to pick all his shit up. And then when I got up there, she was still kind of distracted. And I barely had time to say something to her. And she scribbled her name on the mini poster I had, and that was it. So
Right.
I said it wasn't really anybody's fault. It was just a combination of things that made that experience underwhelming. But then you got Wes saying, "Oh, well, me and Aaron met her. It was I said, "Yeah, but y'all got your
Well,
photo op with her."
same goes for their experience with Tom Atkins.
Mhm.
I sat there and talked with Tom Atkins. I had people behind me. He
Yeah.
sat there and talked to me for like 20 minutes
Yeah.
in the line and just wouldn't stop talking to me. Like, because I told him I was from Shreveport and he just loves
Oh,
Shreveport.
yeah.
And just,
Well,
It
people
was funny.
don't. I think sometimes people don't believe me when I say that I had a pretty good conversation with John Carpenter
Yeah,
when I met him at Fright Night that time, because a lot of people say, "Ah, he's a grumpy ass.
I think
Ah,
it's all
he's a."
timing, like
Mhm.
circumstance of the timing, like because this was early in the day when I met Tom Atkins. Now let's
Yeah.
say if I met him at the end of the like shit's about to close, he might have been an asshole. You
I
never know.
mean, when I met Tom Atkins, I don't know, I may have pissed him off because I didn't get nothing signed. I just wanted to go up and shake his hand, stuff like that.
Yeah,
And maybe he was confused because, hey, why don't she want my autograph? Or,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know. But it was just a kind of weird experience. So I told Steve that I wasn't gonna do that anymore and just go up and meet people. I was at least gonna do something. I was either gonna get a picture or I was gonna get an autograph or something, because the whole experience just didn't feel right. And I was like, no, not doing that anymore.
yeah.
And I know that the prices are way out of control now. I mean, I totally get that. Most people wouldn't have paid Michael Berryman what I paid to get my album signed and a picture with him. I mean, for both it was $60 total to do
Right.
that.
Well, yeah, like Kane Hodder though,
Mhm.
he was cool as hell with me. I mean,
Oh, Kane Hodder was cool with me a few
I mean,
years
he's gonna
ago.
sign multiple things for that one price. You know,
Yeah.
as he's seen I had other Friday the 13th stuff. He started signing it too. So I was like, well, damn, do I got to pay for that? He's like, no. What are you talking about?
I don't
Well,
know how Felissa Rose does now, but I think she's about the same. Everybody says she's just
yeah,
super nice. When I met her, she was hugging me and just acting like I was an old friend that she hadn't seen in a while. And she let me get a picture with her. She signed my Blu-ray of Sleepaway Camp, the cover,
hmm,
and she let me pick any picture I wanted off of her table, and she signed that and didn't charge me any extra. And I think it was 20 or 25. I think it was 25 for what I got. And I'm like, wow,
right.
you can't beat that. And she talked to me for a long time. I was talking to her about the first time I saw Sleepaway Camp, and that my aunt introduced me to it. And she was like, "Oh, your aunt sounds so sweet. I wish I could meet her." And, you know,
I hung out with Ed Gwynn,
mhm.
the
Yeah,
tag
you were talking about him. Yeah.
18-wheeler driver.
Yep.
He just and he only charged $20, you know,
Yeah.
but nobody was going to his table. And I sat there and hung out with him, just started asking him stuff, like. But and Ed Neal was right beside him. He was cool too.
Mm.
Uh,
Bill Mosley, I loved when I met Bill Mosley,
yeah.
um, because Steve was like, "I can't believe you had him put what you had him put on the picture." I was like, "Why? It's funny." And because
Lick my plate, you dog dick.
what was really funny though was he asked me what kind quote that he wanted me to put, or wanted that I wanted him to put on there. I was
Mm.
like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know. You got so many good quotes." So he just starts yelling them out in the voice that he would have used. So when he said, "Lick my plate, you dog dick," he sounded just like he did in the
He's got
movie.
some, yeah. I mean, that's probably one of my favorite. He's got some great ones in House of a Thousand too, though.
Yeah. And
And
I was like, "That's the one." When he did that, I was like, "That's the one."
right,
Um, I met I met Danny Lloyd from The Shining, and
that's
he was
awesome.
he was very low key, but he was very nice
That
too.
would be awesome if I could get. You see that Shining poster back there?
Uh-huh. Yep.
I, I didn't meet her, but I got Shelley Duvall's autograph. But I'd love to meet Danny Lloyd. Uh,
Yeah, I think he's a teacher now.
yeah,
I don't know where. I think he doesn't want to tell people, which that's
yeah, no
understandable. You
doubt.
don't you
Yeah,
don't want to have
he'd
these
have a whole
crazy
crowd.
fans showing up.
Yeah, day and night. I mean, that movie's loved so by so many. But
Yeah,
Jack Nicholson's like a grail. That'll never happen.
yeah, I would love to
I have to go
meet
to a
Jack
Lakers game or something.
Nicholson. You'd have to get floor seats to a Lakers
Yeah,
game.
right.
Because I remember Dad used to watch, and he probably still does, but he used to watch a lot of Lakers games whenever I lived at home. And he would say, "Oh yeah, Jack Nicholson's a huge Lakers fan," and uh, Dad said he'd even gotten in trouble because I watched him. He'll get out there almost on the floor with the players, and he's just, getting into it and stuff. And Dad said, "Yeah, Jack Nicholson has gotten in trouble by the referees before. He's gotten told that he's got to get off the floor because
And Jack's always been the same. He don't give a shit.
no,
Hollywood didn't
no."
change him. He's always been the same. He's one person I could say Hollywood. You know, he's gonna
Had
do what he's gonna do.
Yeah, and I like that. I admire that in somebody that doesn't they don't let Hollywood change them. They don't let money change them. And
Yeah.
I know how you feel kind of about Stephen King, Dirk, but that's why I like
Hey,
Stephen
Stephen King's awesome. I'm not saying he's not.
King.
I just feel like there's other like Dean Koontz. I
Yeah,
feel like should have
right. I
got
love Dean Koontz.
a little more recognition, but nobody's ever picked up. Well, they've picked up what, a couple movies, a couple of
Uh,
his stories.
yeah,
Nothing like
right.
they've done King.
No, they did about everything that Stephen King could have his grocery list
Right. But I feel like
adapted.
there's so much Dean Koontz had to offer.
Peter
Uh,
Straub is another
yeah.
excellent author. Ghost Story and
Mhm.
Ghost Story and If You Could See Me Now. Those were two really great books that Peter Straub put out. And Peter Straub actually wrote with Stephen King with a couple of books.
Right.
I
Uh,
think they did The Talisman and they did that one. What was it? Black House or Black? I'm trying to remember now, but I do know that they did The Talisman together several years ago. But yeah, I get what you're saying. There are a lot of really talented authors
yeah.
out there that don't get their stuff picked up and that would make great movies.
Right.
Um,
I think the main reason because like I don't dislike King. I just
mhm.
the whole thing with him and Kubrick. It's just I'm a side with Kubrick because it's like Kubrick's just. I mean, in my opinion, there's nobody like a filmmaker like him.
Right. Well, the thing I've always said about Kubrick Shining is a great horror film.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic horror film. I would never say anything about it not being a good horror film, but it does not,
Yeah. It's
it's
not the.
very distant from King's work.
And that's exactly what he wanted to do. You know,
Hmm.
he made it his own. That's why he bought the rights to it. And
Hmm.
then King got like tried to meddle with it, and he was like, "No, this is my shit now." Like,
Yeah.
but that's all with that
But
deal.
that's the only movie I think well, Lawnmower Man, I think was
Yeah,
I think Lawnmower
but
Man, I think
I
he might
actually
have
like
sued over that.
I actually liked Lawnmower Man when I was
I mean, it
when
was
it first came out.
enjoyable. It was enjoyable, but it was absolutely nothing like that
Right,
short story, nothing like the
right.
short story. I mean, I liked the story. It was a good, I guess, like a sci-fi.
And that guy was doing what was that other one he did? Body Parts, or
Oh, yeah.
you know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
I hadn't seen that since '90s, I guess, but yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it was a fun little movie. They should have never said it was Stephen King's Lawnmower Man. I think he sued to get his name taken off of that because he said it has absolutely nothing to do with the short story that I did.
right.
They should have just called it something else other than Lawnmower Man. But I know what they were trying to do. They were trying to cash in on King's name.
The King name, yeah.
But Stephen King's another one that no matter how much money he makes, no matter how rich he actually is, he never puts on airs anytime he's interviewed, it's like he's in jeans
Yeah.
and maybe a t-shirt, maybe a little bit nicer shirt and a jacket,
Mm-hmm.
but he doesn't he just acts like a regular guy, and I guess that's the way he wants to be. I'm just a regular guy that writes these horror novels that people, seem to like so well. Um, and even I got to see him talk in Louisville in 2016. I stood out in the middle of a freaking rainstorm at
Dang,
the
man.
Iroquois
I'd have been there for
Amphitheater.
sure. I mean, you can't deny Stephen King shit. I mean, that's a grail to,
And
just
Steve
to
could
be in the presence,
Right. Steve
Yeah.
could care less about singing him talk. And I was
Damn.
like, you don't understand. This is Stephen King. And he got up there, he had jeans and a t shirt on. He got up on that stage and he talked for a long time. And his stories that he would tell in person was just like his writing. You just were enthralled. You could not stop listening to this guy tell stories. He talked about his early writing career and his struggles, and he would have funny little stories along the way. Um, and Stephen King, I think, is a person that doesn't give a shit either. I mean,
Right.
he's going to get up there and he's going to tell you the truth, and he's going to say, this is the way things are. And if he uses crude language, he doesn't care, you
He said
know.
he didn't remember writing Cujo.
Yeah, because
He was all cocaine.
he was on cocaine, and
Yeah.
he says,
That's crazy though. Cujo is like one of my favorites.
I like Cujo really well, and I can't tell it was written by a guy that was high on cocaine.
No, no, definitely not.
I mean, he also had an alcohol problem, which anybody could figure that out because it shows up very dominantly in The Shining and a lot of his other earlier books. Alcoholism uh,
Yeah.
rears its ugly head a lot.
I had my bout with it. That's why, like, I think that's one of the main reasons Shining resonates with me so much, because that's how I look at it. Like, really, that's kind of like
Mhm.
what opened. You can look at The Shining so many different ways too, though. So it's
The Shining's got so much in
yeah,
it. The book and the movie,
right.
both have
So
it's
many layers.
yeah, it's like an onion. You just keep
Right,
peeling back layers,
right.
and
Like
you
I can
know,
watch it. I'm gonna watch it this way today. Tomorrow I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna be watching it again soon. This cold weather makes me want to watch things like The Shining. Me and Steve always when it well, we
Like
didn't this
Bane.
time. We got a little snow.
Mhm.
But usually if we get a lot of snow, Steve says, "Let's watch The
It
Shining."
snowed over there.
Yeah.
Damn. See,
Uh,
we're not used to that. We got snow last year. Like we're not used to getting snow though.
well, the past 2 weeks it's been in the mid to upper 70s, which is
Right.
unusual in November for
It's been in
Kentucky.
last week. It was like in the 80s for us, 84 and shit. And we're like, what the hell's going on?
And then all of
Well,
a
we shouldn't
sudden
say that because it's always like that in November. You never know in
and
Louisiana.
then it suddenly dropped. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was yesterday that we got the snow, and we got enough snow that I don't know if you're familiar with snow cream,
No,
Dirk. Okay.
it melts. It don't stay. It never stays here. We're in the
So
jungle.
the snow cream was something that I grew up with my family making when we would get enough clean snow, like you would get it off of vehicles or something like that. You wouldn't want to go get it out of the yard because animals have tracked through it, people have tracked through it, the animals have used the bathroom in it. So what you do is you get you several cups of clean snow,
Hmm.
and you hurry up and you bring it in the house because this stuff melts really fast. And you put vanilla, milk, and sugar or sweetener. I mean, if you can't have the sugar, obviously you put some kind of sweetener in there, and you mix all that up. And it's kind of like a taste thing, put a little vanilla, put a little sugar in there, put a little milk in there, mix it up, taste it. Is it sweet enough? If not, you can put a little bit more. If you like a little more vanilla, you can put that in there. But it makes a nice, you know, ice cream like
Okay.
treat.
Kind of like a float in a way. Or
Sort of. Yeah.
yeah.
But it melts super fast and it's also super cold. So yesterday I was eating it and I was like, damn, this is cold, but this stuff is good and I got to hurry up and eat
Yeah,
it
your
before it
brain
melts.
freeze.
Exactly. Uh, but Dirk, you probably got a early morning tomorrow, I'm betting.
Yeah, I gotta be at work at 7 or 8. Which,
Okay.
but yeah, I'll be there at 7 though, probably more than likely.
So I could talk all night, but I realize that people got to get some sleep, and I probably should get some sleep too at some point.
Yeah,
Um, but Dirk, I wanted to thank you for being on here for the watch along,
I'm
and
sorry,
nah,
things
that's
came up and all that, but
okay. You got to talk to your uncle. You can't can
yeah, he was trying to explain to me uh some things. He took somebody out there, and the guy shot a spike, and
uh
that's like a no no. That dude will never go out there again. So, but
oh
oh well.
yeah,
But I already knew. I've known that since I was a little kid. But anyway, he's telling
right.
me all that crap, and he was telling me all kind of other shit too, though. Talking about he started telling me this whole rendition of, well, back in the 50s, they
It's
brought
like I don't know.
they brought all these different deer here to Louisiana, and he was telling me like all the names of the different deers that they brought to here and shit, and I was like, okay, all right, but I don't want to be rude to him,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, because like we said, he wouldn't have understood what you were doing on here
no,
anyway.
he don't know nothing about YouTube. I'm sure
Mm.
he's like 73,
Yeah, no, he
so
wouldn't have.
but
Um, but Dirk, like I always say, you have an open invitation to come on anytime. What I've started doing is just putting the link for anybody that wants to join every time I do one, not just watch alongs, but
yeah,
I just go ahead and put it in there. And if I see people backstage, I'll add them. As long as, I mean, I say new people can come on if they want to, as long as they're not assholes.
right,
I'm
yeah,
not gonna, say, no, you can't come on here. But if you
right,
get on here and you start acting like an asshole, I'll kick you out. Like I
yeah,
had to kick a guy off the chat the other night because he came in here and he started talking about like, I mean, I know it's almost Thanksgiving. We're going to be eating turkey. And I
hmm,
know that turkey's got to be killed so we can eat them.
yeah,
But the guy was talking about knocking the heads off of turkeys and cutting their heads off with an axe. And I'm like, dude, come on. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish, but I just said, you're gone.
yeah.
And he didn't try to come back. So
What the hell? That's crazy.
I don't know I don't know if the guy was drunk. I don't know if he was on drugs or he was just being stupid.
Is he a regular or just?
No, he was, I'm trying to forget what name he went by, what screen name he went by, and I can't even remember now.
Hmm.
But yeah, those are if you come on here and start harassing people that are
Troll.
in here, or yeah, trolls, exactly, or being an asshole in any way, then you're gone. But other than that, I say anything goes. We get on here and like I drink on here,
Hmm.
and we talk goofy. We sometimes talk raunchy on here,
Yeah.
but I say that they're not for kids. These are not uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
made for kids to watch. I always mark
That's
this
how I
is
do
not
mine
kid
too.
friendly.
Yeah. Ours surely is not. I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of our streams, but
Yeah, I've watched some of them, and they're not. They're for adults to watch.
right.
And I wouldn't want a kid coming in here seeing me drink Fireball whiskey and saying fuck and shit and
Yeah.
damn, and then them going back to their parents and saying, "What's fuck mean?" And stuff, and like that, causing a big old problem on YouTube. You get booted off of YouTube because that internet uh, Children's Protection Act and all that stuff. It's
Yeah.
you got to be really careful.
YouTube is. I mean, there's other platforms uh, that are more, I guess you'd say, censorship friendly. They're
Mm,
not. They don't get censored. Uh,
right.
I don't know if you heard of it. Odyssey. Have you heard of that?
Uh, I can't remember it. Have you told me about it before, Dirk? Because
I
somebody
might
was
have.
mentioning that,
I
and
might
I
have
can't
told you,
remember who it
but
was.
I've kind of wondered about it. You got to have at least 300 subscribers,
Okay.
but you can link it to your YouTube channel, and every video you put on YouTube goes automatically to that too. So,
Oh, I
but
may
people,
have to look into that.
not saying that I care about this, but people can tip a video if they want to. Just
So do you not have to be monetized? Like YouTube makes you get monetized before you can.
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like it's
Mhm.
and it's you can say what you want to say. I mean, you don't have to worry about nothing. So,
What about like if you wanted to stream a movie or something? Do they have? Will they copyright strike you on that
I'm not real sure
platform?
on that. I don't know about that, but I know that as far as like language, like they're not gonna can. It's not no cancel culture shit.
No,
That
gotcha.
you can't. But it's it's not as big as YouTube, of course. But
Yeah, I'm not in this to make any money, but if I ever get enough subscribers and enough views and all that, I've almost got enough views, but I don't have nearly enough subscribers yet. I've got about 384, 385, something
see,
like
you
that.
could do that then. You could do the Odyssey thing. See, I can't
Mhm.
do it. I think I have 75 subscribers. You know what I mean?
Well, this
But
didn't happen to me overnight. It was just like,
right.
I think the more streams I started doing, then
Hmm.
people were like, oh, maybe they were thinking, I want to check out her new content because she's putting out new content more regularly.
Right.
And maybe that's why. I don't know. I know it's not my personality or my good looks or anything like that that's getting
No,
me.
you got a good show going.
Oh, well,
I mean,
thank you, Dirk.
I mean,
But
it's a good place to hang out. We all talk smack and
yeah, but
back
we
and
get
forth.
along.
Yeah.
Nobody is vicious towards
No.
each other. Like poor John, movie junkie John. He was saying people just get all over him on some of the social network platforms and stuff for just
I,
having an opinion.
right. Well, that's what like my uncles and coach used to say. You can't be a pussy all your life. You just gotta quit being butthurt about shit. But I'm
But
sorry.
I think John doesn't care, but he says he would rather come in like on my streams where everybody kind of gets along and
Yeah. No,
doesn't
I
just
wasn't saying that about John. I was
yeah
saying like these people that
get all offended because
yeah,
you don't agree with them
people
on
get offended over everything now.
yeah.
You can't say nothing. Shit.
Gosh,
But
no,
but
no, you can't. But I guess I better not keep you on here any longer or keep
yeah,
everybody with the two people that's still on the chat.
right. And
Um,
but
but
yeah,
yeah,
thanks for
yeah,
having me on.
Dirk, I enjoyed having you on. And you got an open invitation to come on anytime you want to. Um,
Good deal. I appreciate it.
and I want to thank everybody that was in the chat tonight. And I hope you enjoyed the movie and hope you enjoyed me and Dirk talking over the movie. And so, with all that being said, I am going to skedaddle on out here for the night, and I will see everyone on the flip side. So, y'all have a good night now. Good night,
Yep.
Dirk.
Night. Y'all take care.